All right, so today I want to talk to you about business loans and business lines of credit and how you can get a business loan or line of credit without having to go through a whole lot of headache. Some people make it seem like it's so hard to get a business loan or line of credit, and to me, it's just not the case. That hasn't been my experience. As a matter of fact, I think it's relatively easy to get a business loan or a business line of credit as long as you go through the proper process, as long as you do it the right way. In today's video, we're going to talk about some of those things that you can do to make it much easier for yourself to get a loan for your business. Now let's start off with this idea that it's so hard to get a business loan, and banks are willing to loan you money for cars. Banks are willing to loan you money for houses, but are unwilling to loan you money for a business. Almost like there's an intention by the bank to discourage you from starting a business. In my experience, that has not been the case. You have to think of it this way, I believe. When a bank loans you money for a car, when a bank loans you money for a house, that's a collateralized loan. They have something that they can come and get if you don't pay for that loan. Whereas with a business, they're basically loaning you money based on your idea, based on you and this business making money, right? But if they don't have a reason to loan you any money, like for example, if you go out and start a business, you have an EIN and you haven't done anything yet, you don't have any transactions coming through that business, why would a bank loan you any money? They're basically just loaning you money on thin air, loaning you money on what you're saying. And banks are not in the business of loaning money based on those things. Banks have to see the potential for them to get their money back. And if they don't see that, they're very likely not to loan you any money. So let's talk about a few things that you can do to make the process a whole lot easier for yourself. Number one, if you want to get a loan and you want to get the loan in the name of your business, then you have to build that business up, right? And the start of that is establishing credit in the business name. One way that you can do that easily, starting out, after you've established your business, established your EIN, is say, okay, now I want to go out and get a secured credit card. That's number one. When you get a secured credit card, basically what you're saying is, I am going to put the funds up for my business, and then I'm going to use that secured credit card just like I would a regular credit card. And I'm going to go in and pay it every month and establish credit so that the bank can see that there are transactions happening and I'm paying for the credit that I am being given, right? And you do that for a 12-month period of time or a 6-month period of time. And now you say, you know what? Now it's time for me to move away from a secured credit and go for an unsecured credit card. And that's just like a regular credit card. You don't have to put any money up for it. You just now have a credit card, and as the months go by, you're paying for that credit card, just like you would your regular credit card. And after you've done that and established yourself, established credit in the business name, banks see money is coming into the business and the business is paying its liabilities. Now, the next step is saying, I'm ready to go out and get an unsecured business line of credit or a business loan. And the question is, how much money are you trying to get? Well, it depends on what your credit lines have been on the unsecured and the secured line of credit, right? So let's just say you had $3,000 or $1,000, let's put it that way, $1,000 on your secured line, and then you had a $5,000 credit on your unsecured line, right? And now you're saying, hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and get a business line of credit for $20,000. If you've done what you're supposed to do on that secured line, you've done what you were supposed to do on the unsecured line with those credit cards, it's very likely, especially if you have, let's just say $50,000 a year coming into the business and you've consistently done that for a 2-year, 3-year period of time, you're very likely to get a $30,000 or $20,000 business line of credit. So don't fool yourself. Don't discourage yourself by saying you're not going to be able to get a business line of credit or you're not going to be able to get a business loan, because that's just not true. If you have done the right things, you're going to get a business line of credit, just like you would if you wanted to get a mortgage, just like you would if you wanted to get a car loan. There are some things you have to do prior to that. You just don't go out and get a car loan just because you want one. you have to establish credit. Same thing for a mortgage. That's the same way that a business loan or a line of credit works, right? It's not difficult. Get that out of your mind. Stop saying that. Stop fooling yourself into thinking that. But do understand it's a process. And as long as you go through the process, do what you're supposed to do, establish credit in your business name, make sure that your credit is good, make sure that there's not anything out there in the business name that has not been paid for, make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're not going to have problems getting business lines of credit or business loans. So that's what I wanted to share with you really quick today. Most of us at some point, we're going to want credit in the business name. That's a part of establishing a business. Most of us are going to need at some point, or desire, I should say, credit. So establish it when you start your business. Move it with the thinking that it's about establishing credit in the business name, doing it the right way. And I don't think you're going to have any problems with that. I've been able to establish business credit relatively easy. And it wasn't, a problem when I went to the bank, because I did it in those steps that I just mentioned. And when I went and, got a business line of credit, it was for $35,000 was my initial line, right? So it just depends on what it is that you want and how you go about doing business. Remember, when you're building business credit and you're building it in the business name, it's important that you make sure that your business is making money. Make sure that you're always having transactions going in and out of the business. Everything that you do for the business should be done through your business checking account or your business savings account. Don't do anything outside of your business checking account, like in your personal name. Now, sometimes you have to use your personal name to get credit started, but if it's reporting in your personal name and it's not reporting in your business name, then your business is not getting credit for that. So make sure that your credit is being reported in the name of the business. Most times, if you give your social security number and you don't give your EIN, you're establishing credit in your personal name. If you're not interested in establishing credit in your personal name, you need to make sure that it's being established in the business name. So it's a good question to ask when you get credit cards. Hey, am I establishing credit? Are you reporting this to my business credit? I've had credit cards that I thought was reporting in my business name, but they are actually reporting in my personal name because I gave them my social security number. So when they check credit, they're checking my personal credit and they're establishing credit in my personal name. Even though it might have your business name on the credit card, it still may not be reporting to your business credit. So do your due diligence, make sure that the credit is being reported in your business name and you won't have any problems there. That's what I wanted to share with you really quick today. Have a great day. Enjoy the week that is getting ready to come up. Enjoy your families. Until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.